So, a quick update on Lake of Fire, guys. I know some of you have written me going, Dave, where's the movie? Is this going to be like, what is that other one, As Prescribed or something? Some of you guys reached out and said, it took them way longer, and we were starting to worry if it would even come out. I'm working on it, guys. Just ran into some snags. This last year was really tough on me physically, mentally, emotionally, not just because of the project, but I had gotten COVID. Then I got long COVID. Long COVID manifested into severe insomnia. Then I had a pinched nerve in my neck now that I'm dealing with. 2022 has not been my year in a physical sense anyway. And so what happened was, Lake of Fire began as just a 10 to 15, 20-minute little short film, that we were going to try to condense all these things into and make it powerful and meaningful. And once we got on set and we started filming, like magic just started happening. Like everybody was involved in this thing in a really special way. Like everybody found some area that was very deep and meaningful to themselves, and everybody just kept saying, let's make this bigger, let's go bigger, let's go. Do you have a full script? I said, yeah, I have a full feature script. I wrote an hour and a half 120 pages of a screenplay for this. They said, why don't we just do that? I said, okay. We put up the GoFundMe. You guys blew me away. I think we raised like $6,000 with that, so it made it completely possible. And so that's what happened. So this thing evolved from 15, 20 minutes to an hour and a half film, essentially. And in the process, that I can't even begin to explain what that means in terms of building this thing. All I can tell you is it's huge. It's like going from building a little shack in your backyard to a 10-story mega mansion or something. Lots of different pieces to this thing. Many more scenes, and it really grew. So at that time, and this was back in like January, I think I was saying, hey, we're going to try to have it out by October. And to be fair, I think I would have probably reached that goal, but our lead actress got COVID, and then a couple other people got COVID, and I was dealing with symptoms, and then there would be issues with like the location. Oh, we couldn't use this location this week, but then next week the actress was out of town, and then the following week. So it was like constantly scheduling issues and people being sick. Our lead actress found out she was pregnant literally like the first week of shooting, and God bless her, she pushed through, and we didn't know day to day when we would shoot in the morning. She didn't know how she was going to feel. She'd wake up sick. She'd be on her way driving and get really sick and turn around. So there was some rescheduling on that regard. Just a lot of things you don't see coming, and there's an expression in filmmaking. There's 3 movies that you make. There's the one you write, the one you shoot, and the one you edit. And that is so true. Now I'm in the editing phase, and it's true, and it's scary in a sense, right? It's like magical and scary at the same time, because the writing, step 1, you write this thing, and you have this vision. Okay, this is what it's going to look like. This is how it's going to go. You get on the set, you shoot, you find magical things that you didn't really anticipate. Wow, that relationship between these two people are so fascinating, so compelling. Can we do more for that? Or the set changes, or just little things change, and suddenly you have to kind of adapt to that. Now I'm in the editing phase. It's this whole nother wave of the movie changes again, because now, it's like you've got the box and you've got all the pieces, and you're trying to put them together and see if they're actually going to fit and how they work. And then you start to find new things there. And you start to go, ooh, well, maybe if I put this scene, I had this scene here, but what if I put it a little bit earlier? Or what if I shorten it or expand it or do this or that? Things just change. I don't know if any of this means anything. As I'm saying this, I'm realizing you guys are probably going, what? But some of you probably get it. Some of you probably understand what I'm saying here. Maybe some of you work in film or creative like that. But anyway, the gist of it is things have been a little bit tougher than I anticipated. The film grew to be bigger than I anticipated. And then I ran into a technical problem. We ran into multiple technical problems. Like one time, the audio equipment broke. We had to reorder very expensive audio equipment. The computer and everything I was running these giant files on, now an hour and a half, I wasn't equipped for. I'd been making much shorter 10, 20, 30-minute movies. This was an enormous project. I think we had like 300 minutes at like 4K, 6K footage. It was nuts. So I had to once again upgrade all my equipment to kind of like meet the demands of this thing, which meant lots of storage and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, won't bore you with all the technical, but there's a reason why this thing's taken longer. That said, still getting pretty dang close. I mean, I think I've got probably maybe 60% of the movie edited at this point. And we got all the pieces, so that's what I'm going to be doing for the next month or so. So hopefully very early, January, February, I would love to have this movie out. That's the goal. Also, I'll be bringing you some interviews with some of the people involved, like the lead actress. She's so amazing. Really want to get an interview with her and some of the other people, and just start kind of bringing you into the process a little bit. Lastly, if you're in Florida, and this is a big one, guys, if you're in Florida, or even if you're not, what's going to happen is I'm renting out a theater called the Enzion in Orlando. It's a beautiful little theater, not too small, but just, I think it's great. I mean, it's set up almost like a living room. I mean, there's couches and recliners, and you can get food and drinks and everything. Very cool. I'm going to rent that out and do a private screening for Lake of Fire. That'll be like the first quarter of 2023, so maybe January, February, March, somewhere in there. And you guys are invited, right? I think there's 200 seats in there. I'm going to be inviting a lot of people in this area and industry. But if you can make that, if you'd like to, come in and be a part of that, you're more than welcome. So I'll have more information on that as time gets closer. But something to think about now. All right, guys, so that's your Lake of Fire update. Probably, I said this before, but I'm pretty sure this will be the last Lake of Fire technical update anyway. Anything coming after this might be some little clips I might share, interviews, things of that nature, and just updates on events and things like the release, the premiere, things of that nature. Also, if you donated money, lastly, if you've donated money to this thing, especially if I think it was over $20 or something like that, I said I would send you a script or something to that effect, signed by me and the cast and things like that. That's still in the works. That's going to have to happen last. So first is build this movie, finish this movie, and then we'll deal with that stuff right there. So thank you so much for your support. Really moved me, really moved everybody. I mean, it was amazing that you guys were so supportive and awesome, and you've really promoted this thing, and you've just been great. So that means a lot to me. And, well, one more thing. We're going to be doing a Benzo documentary 2023, so we're pre-production on that. So that's going to be cool. We're going to be interviewing doctors, lawyers, big pharma people, following clients. And I know you might think, well, there's a few other ones that are kind of Benzo-oriented. I think one in particular, very Benzo-oriented. I think this is going to be very different. I think my approach is very different, and it's not just to just show light on just one area of this thing either. So I think our documentary is going to be really helpful. And look, you can't have too much resources. There's almost nothing right now in benzos. So the more the merrier right now, right? We really need to get the message out there and let people know that there's something really happening here in this benzo epidemic. So, all right, guys, that's my, I think, final Lake of Fire update. Godspeed to you. Keep your heads up. You're healing. You will heal. That's a promise.
Run away, I don't have to plan it. I can go change my fate.